Myself for an opening statement. Today, our committee is meeting to discuss TSA's role in keeping our transportation system secure. Before we begin, I'd like to welcome and thank Administrator David McCaul for joining us this morning to discuss a range of important topics relevant to America's aviation security. We, and I say we, the committee, have just been briefed in a classified setting by the DHS Inspector General and the Administrator about specific vulnerabilities to our aviation security. And quite frankly, I think I speak for all of us when I say that we found that briefing disturbing. We need to do more to confront the growing threats aimed at the aviation sector. And I want to work with you so we can remedy this situation as soon as possible, given the threat level. And I'm hopeful that TSA is successful with implementing the 8 recommendations that should improve screening checkpoint operational effectiveness. While all members on this committee share my concerns, I do want to remind the members that the information shared and exchanged in that briefing must remain classified. Today, we are 16 years past the horrendous 9/11 attacks that claimed the lives of almost 3,000 people. However, we are only 9 days past the latest terror attack to hit downtown New York. And while the latest attack was carried out with a truck instead of an airplane, it was a reminder that the threats we face are still real. Before he was killed, ISIS leader Sheikh Adnani called for lone wolf attacks, begging followers to kill the kuffar in his backyard by any means necessary. Today, international terrorists are still determined to spread fear by killing innocent people and destroying our way of life. And though many live on other continents, they're only one flight away. If we are going to be successful in keeping our homeland safe, we must make sure that TSA has the tools and resources it needs to carry out its mission. We understand, however, this is no easy task. Even though there are approximately 60,000 TSA employees helping safeguard nearly 450 airports throughout the United States, our aviation sector remains the crown jewel of terrorist targets. America's enemies only have to be right once, while we have to be right 100%. With millions of people traveling into our country from all over the world, we must expeditiously implement policies and procedures that instill confidence and make our transportation system safe and secure. Fortunately, our committee has been dedicated to working together with TSA and other components within DHS to get the job done. Over the last several years, we have helped strengthen our aviation security with the legislation from this committee that was signed into law. This legislation included bills that enhanced security at last point of departure airports into the United States and require emergency response and active shooter exercises for TSA personnel on a regular basis. We also passed legislation that directs the TSA administrator to develop and update a strategic 5-year technology investment plan to report and provide to the private sector with a realistic roadmap of the agency's technology needs. These are certainly steps in the right direction, but as we saw from our previous briefing, we have a lot more to do. And in 2015, we also learned through leaked reports from the DHS Inspector General that TSA's passenger screening record was, in their words, abysmal. This was very discouraging to this committee and very dangerous to the American people. And even though some changes have been made to correct this problem, we cannot be satisfied until we know it's been properly addressed. But the government cannot solve this problem alone. Working with the private sector, we need to find ways to meet our security needs. These partnerships can produce new and innovative technologies that can advance our screening process, including the use of biometrics like fingerprints and facial recognition. This will make it hard to slip past screeners at the airport. New technology will also strengthen our ability to keep up with emerging threats. And I think as we discussed previously, the CAT scan, the CT technology is really going to be key here in protecting the traveling, not only the traveling Americans, but Americans who could be the victim of an airplane being blown up in the skies. Taking down airplanes is a constant goal of the terrorists, but how they go about trying is always changing. In late July of this year, counterterrorism officials in Australia thwarted an attack and seized material that could have been used as an improvised explosive device to blow up an airplane. We are also seeing reports that terrorists are looking for ways to use laptops and other electronic devices as bombs that will be detonated on airlines. This is a serious threat, if not the most serious threat that we face from the radical Islamists. It's a threat that must be addressed, and I look forward to discussing with you, sir, the ways in which we can confront these issues head on. Now, with that, the chair recognizes the ranking member.
Thank you very